Good evening, my learners. This is your tutor, Mr. A+. So today we are looking at the history of constitution making process in Zambia. Okay, so we are still looking at the constitution. So let us now look at the history of constitution making process in Zambia. Okay, so that is our main focus for today. So say the history of constitution making process in Zambia. Okay, so that is what we are looking at today. So that is our headings. Okay, so now when Zambia got independence on the 24th October 1964, it inherited the Northern Rhodesia Self-Government Constitution of 1963. Because you are all aware of what happened, you are very much aware that we got our independence in 1964. Now, before our independence, the constitution was actually self-government constitution of 1963, and then the country Zambia was called Northern Rhodesia. Okay, so now the provision in that constitution were meant to safeguard the interest of white settlers. Okay, that were the challenges. So the constitutions were just focusing on the white settlers. So it was there to safeguard the white settlers. Therefore, since 1964 to 2016, Zambia has had 5 constitutional review commission, which is abbreviated as CRC, with the view of improving its constitution. So I can put that in written, though I am actually going to send the types notes on the same information, but I should also write something here so that you can fully understand as I'm explaining. So now this is the topic for today. That is our main focus. So now we are saying when Zambia got independence on 24th October 1964, it inherited the Northern Rhodesia self-government constitution of 1963. Okay, so now the provision The provision of this constitution were meant to safeguard the interest of what? That's a provision. So I can indicate this as well. So the provisions in that constitution were meant to safeguard the interest of white settlers. So these white settlers were the people who actually colonized our country. So they were there, and the constitution which was there then, it was actually protecting them. It was safeguarding their interest. That's why black people then were being oppressed, due to the fact that the constitution which was there, as the owners of the land, we had no say. Okay, now what happened when we got independence in 1964 under the leadership of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda as the first Republican president? They had to do some reviews, which we are going to look at. So now, therefore, we can say now, therefore, since 1964, therefore, since 1964 to 2016, Zambia has had 5 constitutional review commissions, which is abbreviated as CRC, that is Constitution Review Commissions. Okay, with the view with the view of improving its what? With the view of improving its what? Constitution. Its constitution. Okay. So now these are some of the review which we are going to actually focus on, as I alluded to in my preamble. So constitution review in Zambia since independence, after the chairperson. Okay, so what it was Constitution Review Commission in Zambia since independence. The Constitution Review Commission in Zambia are usually named after the chairperson of the commission. So whatever names that we are given, we have given, the commissions were actually named by its chairpersons. So the first one was Chona. Okay, Chona Constitution Review Commission of 1972. So what was the content of this review? This was the first review. So this was the first constitutional review commission, and it recommendations and it recommended the establishment of one part state. So Chona Commission review, Chona Constitutional Review Commission of 1972 was the first constitutional review, and it recommended the establishment of one party states. So I'm sure you are all aware of what happened when KK was ruling this nation. At a time, he introduced the one party state using the same constitutional review, which was called Chona. So this Chona was the chairperson appointed by the president during the review of this constitution, and that was 1972. Okay, so this means that all other political parties were banned and not allowed to exist except UNIP, which was the United Nations Independence Party. So that was the idea behind this Constitutional Review Commission. It was actually to ban these other political parties. So the intention of the old man was to actually rule this country for the rest of his life. That's the reason why he had to come up with the Chona Constitution Review Commission of 1972. Okay, so the UNIP was the only party which was allowed to take part in elections, which present Kaunda heading. Okay, so this is the one which the Kaunda himself was heading. So UNIP simply means United National Independence Party. It became illegal to form any other political party. Okay, so during this time, during this review, constitutional review, it was illegal to form any other political party. Okay, then this recommendation was adopted in 1973. So it was reviewed in 1972 and adopted in 1973. So 1973, that was the time, the time it was adopted. Okay, and this was the beginning of the Second Republic. Okay, so I'm sure you are aware about the Republic, the First Republic, Second Republic, Third Republic. So this was the Second Republic. Now, which one is the First Republic? The First Republic was a time when the white people were ruling this country. Okay, then it was called Northern Rhodesia. So that was the First Republic. Now, the moment KK introduced, okay, the moment KK introduced the one-party state to avoid these other political parties to exist, that was the beginning of the Second Republic. And during the Second Republic, they were only the one-party state. No any other part was allowed to exist or to be formed. So this was the Second Republic. A constitution that outlaws or bans the formation of political parties does not encourage free electoral participation and infringes on people's rights and freedoms, such as freedom of association, freedom of conscience. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so that was some of the disadvantages which were there, because this particular uh, party, or rather this particular constitution, actually infringes the rights of people. People were unable now to have the freedom of association, the freedom of conscience, because then there were only one political party, and that was the UNIP. Okay, so that was the disadvantages it actually attracted. Then the other point that we can talk about this was, I think that was the end of this one. So to say, the constitution, the first constitution review commission, which is the Chona. Okay, so it was just under one party state. People are not allowed to form any party, political party. Once that is done, that was illegal, and that person would even be prosecuted. So the second one was Mvunga Constitutional Review Commission of 1991. So after this review, the second review was Mvunga Constitution Review of 1991. Okay, of 1991. What was the content of this constitution? This was the second constitution review. From the time we got independence, this was the second constitutional review, and it recommended that Zambia should revolt to or reintroduce multi-party democracy. So Mvunga Constitutional Review of 1991 was more like just the opposite of what happened during the Chona Constitutional Review. So this time now, the recommendation were that Zambia should reintroduce the multi-party state, where people were now allowed to be given time to form political parties, campaigns, and also contest for elections. Okay. Then this marked the beginning of the Third Republic. So the one that marked the beginning of the Third Republic was in Mvunga Constitutional Review of 1991. Okay, that was the Third Republic now. Then apart from that, we also have, I think this is 2. Then we can talk about 3 now. The 3 one now is the Mvunga Constitution Review. Mvunga Constitution Review Commission, okay, of 1995. So the Mvunga Constitution Review of 1995, this was the third Constitution Review Commission, and its main amendment to the Zambian Constitution was the percentage of person contesting presidents of Zambia. Okay, the percentage of persons contesting president of Zambia. It recommended that only person whose parents were both born in Zambia could be eligible or allowed to stand for president. As a result, then presidential aspirant Dr. Kenneth Kaunda was automatically disqualified since his parents were not born in Zambia. Okay, so that was the idea behind. This is what Chiluba wanted. Chiluba never wanted Kaunda to become president again. Instead, he called upon this Mvunga Constitutional Review so that he can put all those restrictions that someone who is supposed to stand as a president or contest must have both parents born in Zambia, failure to which no one should stand as a president if your parents are not born in Zambia, like to our first Republican president KK. His both parents were not born in Zambia, and therefore he was disqualified because of the Mwanakate Constitutional Review Commission of 1995. Okay, then apart from that constitution, we also have the fourth one, which was the Mumba Constitution Review. So Mumba Constitution Review. Okay. So what about the Mumba Constitution Review, which is number 4? Don't worry, I will actually send the typed notes that you are going to go through on your own. But for now, just pay attention and understand, so that when those typed notes are sent to you, it will be very easy for you to understand everything. So Mumba Constitutional Review Commission of 2005. So if you are following, this time the one was a president was actually Mwana Wasa. Okay, so this is the 4th Constitutional Review Commission, and its recommendation were not adopted. So for Mumba Constitution Review Commission of 2005. So the recommendation of this constitution review were not adopted. Okay, therefore it didn't go anywhere because the recommendation were not adopted for some reasons. Okay, then 5, the 5th one, which is the last one on the constitution review, we have constitution amendment. Now amendment act. Okay, number 2 of 2016. Amendment Act number 2 of 2016. So what were the contents of this constitution review? So this constitution review commission was made up of experts, and some of the recommendations include the running mate, dual citizenship, no crossing over of the floor, and the 50 plus 1% for one to win the general elections. So these were the recommendation for Constitution Amendment Act number 2 of 2016. This was the time now the running mate was introduced. So if you can remember very well, you can actually attest with me to say, before the issue of running mate, the vice president was just being appointed by the president. Okay, so now in 2016, under the leadership of our late former Republican president Edgar Chagwa Lungu, they reviewed the constitution, and they recommended that the running mate should be there, whereby a president, someone who is contesting presidents, has to choose the running mate. Okay, then as the electorates voting for the president, it means they are also voting for the running mate. Okay, and therefore the president has got no power to fire the vice president at any time he wish, because being the running mate, the vice president also is being selected or elected by the citizens. Okay, so the other thing, as I've said already, under this same Constitution Amendment Act number 2 of 2016, there were issues like dual citizenship. Simply means someone can be a Zambian, can also be a Congolese. Okay, that is just an example I'm giving. Dual citizenship was also introduced. Then again, there was no crossing overflow of the 50 plus 1%. So for one to win election should have 50 plus 1% during the general election. So these were some of the recommendations under the Constitutional Amendment Act number 2 of 2016. Okay, so thank you so very much for your attention. For today, we are going to end here, but I'm actually urging you as your tutor that please keep in touch, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more exclusive videos, because we are still moving up until we finish the constitution and all the topics that are found in civic education. So during exam, if you can answer like this, then you are home and dry. Thank you so very much for your attention.